Let me tell you something. There's nothing quite like watching your HOA president's BMW disappear into the earth like it's getting swallowed by quicksand. No kidding, that's how this whole mess ended. Her car just vanished, and I'll admit, I'm pretty good at making things disappear when I put my mind to it. But if you want to know how we got to that ridiculous, glorious moment, you got to back up about 6 hours to me standing at my busted ranch gate, boots muddy, hands dirty, staring at a fresh set of tire tracks plowed right through my cattle pasture. That chain I just replaced? Snapped clean through, bolt cutters again. Yeah, again. Seems Delilah Thornwick, Queen Bee of Willowbrook Estates, driver of the biggest, shiniest BMW in the county, believes her HOA crown gives her the right to use my family's 40 acres as her own personal shortcut. What Delilah didn't know, couldn't have known, was that I'd been busy digging something special just for her. Because after a while, when somebody keeps driving where they shouldn't, sometimes the ground fights back. And sometimes, karma just needs a little encouragement from a stubborn rancher with too much pride and a head for wiring up consequences. I mean, imagine this. Your neighbor starts treating your land like their own private highway. What would you do? Seriously, drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching from and if your HOA's ever pulled something this crazy. Because I bet I'm not the only one with a horror story or two. Anyway, let me back up, really back up, so you see how a simple cattle gate turned into the spectacular downfall of the most powerful woman in Willowbrook Estates. Name's Jake Riverside. And if you want the short version, I'm what you get when you cross a third-generation Texas rancher with an industrial electrician. My day job keeps the lights on in half the commercial buildings in Austin. My nights and weekends? They're spent fighting to keep the family ranch from turning into another parking lot. Lost my wife, Sarah, to cancer a year and a half ago. So now it's just me, 40 acres, 30 head of cattle, and a lot of stubbornness that won't let me quit. My kids took off to Dallas and Houston, chasing jobs and paychecks, so it's just me and the cows. And honestly, this place bleeds money faster than I can earn it. Medical bills will do that to you. So that's why I pulled double shifts, 12 hours on, running conduit and fixing bad wiring, and then coming home to fix fences and try to keep my head above water. The thing is, our ranch sits right between the Old County Road and Willowbrook Estates, Austin's newest tribute to McMansion excess. Out here, houses start at nearly $1 million. HOA fees run higher than most folks' mortgages, and my cattle gate has been right where it is since Eisenhower was president. My granddad hung it in '62, my dad kept it going, and now it's mine, old, weathered, but more than just wood and hinges. Out here, property rights aren't just a nice idea. They're sacred. And that gate, it's a line in the sand. But Delilah Thornwick? She doesn't see a line. She sees a shortcut. No need to wind her fancy car around the subdivision when she can blast straight through my pasture. HOA president, self-appointed queen, the living proof that money can't buy class. She's got a 6,000 square foot house, marble everywhere, a husband who shuffles other people's money around for a living, and a BMW X7 worth more than I made in the last 2 years. Her reign of terror is legendary. She'll measure your grass with a ruler, file violations over nothing. Last year, she forced a widow to repaint her mailbox because it was too beige. Before that, she made a disabled vet take down his flagpole. And how she treats folks who do real work. Waitresses, clerks, delivery drivers. They're invisible except when she needs to bark orders or snap her fingers. So about 6 months back, I came home from 14 hours rewiring a warehouse in the Texas heat, bone-tired, just wanted to sit down and forget about everything. My gate was hanging wide open, tire tracks like graffiti through my pasture, cows spooked in the far corner. Next morning, I took my polite rancher hat and my stubborn electrician hat and marched up to her mailbox. Ma'am, someone's been using my ranch gate as a shortcut. That's private property. It's scaring my livestock. The look she shot me could have frozen the Rio Grande. Pure aristocratic disdain, like I'd tracked manure into her marble foyer. That old gate's practically falling apart anyway. She sniffs, not even looking up from her mail. Maybe if you actually maintain this eyesore, people wouldn't need to worry about it breaking down. Then she slides into her BMW, leaving me standing there, invisible hat in hand. The gravel under my boots felt different that morning, angry. Sweet hay mixed with diesel exhaust, my calloused hands on 60 years of honest work. And in the distance, my cattle lowing like they could sense a storm coming. I knew right then this wasn't ending with a neighborly handshake. But Delilah had no clue who she was poking. I troubleshoot electrical disasters for a living. Every problem has a solution, and I've got the patience to find it. 2 days later, I put a commercial-grade chain and padlock on that gate, the kind they use on construction sites. Thought maybe $40 at the hardware store would buy me a little respect. I should have known better. Next evening, that brand-new chain was laying across the gravel in pieces, padlock fished out of the cattle pond, BMW tracks even deeper this time, like she wanted me to know she'd been there. The mistake she made? She didn't know about my security cameras. Nothing fancy, just enough to catch plates and faces. The footage was a work of art. There's Delilah, designer sweats, wielding industrial bolt cutters like she's Mission Impossible. But the real surprise showed up 2 days later. County inspector at my door, telling me my gate violated some ancient easement and had to come down. He's got paperwork, a survey map, all official looking, except 15 years of reading blueprints meant I could spot the forgery a mile off. Wrong ink, mismatched topography, a dead surveyor's signature. I played dumb, snapped some photos, then spent my lunch break in the courthouse basement. Found the real deed, the real surveys, and a pile of proof Delilah's official documents were pure fiction. Next morning, I filed a counter-complaint, armed with originals. Same inspector came back 3 days later looking like he'd swallowed a frog. Mr. Riverside, we're dropping the violation. Your paperwork's in order. Sorry for the hassle. Turns out, Delilah wasn't the first HOA president to try creative legal interpretation, just the most obvious. Now, here's where the fun starts. 2 weeks go by, then I get 4 certified letters in 1 day. Health department, fire marshal, animal control, building inspector. Every single agency demanding an immediate inspection for public safety concerns. The complaints were obviously copy-pasted. Each one cost me time and money, but Delilah forgot something important. Out here, we know each other. You do electrical work in every government building in a county for 15 years. You get to know the inspectors. Fire Inspector Rodriguez pulled me aside. Jake, these complaints are coordinated. Document everything. This lady's playing games. My ranch passed every inspection with flying colors. But now I understood Delilah's endgame. She didn't want to win fair. She wanted to drown me in paperwork and lost wages until I gave up. Classic rich person warfare. But I don't surrender, I plant flags. 3 weeks into this, she forms a neighborhood safety committee, which is basically the Destroy Jake coalition with better PR. Suddenly I'm flooded with complaint letters, each one with a few HOA board signatures. All say my cows are dangerous, my gas cans are a public menace, my old Ford is an illegal junkyard. Same language, same day, obviously the same template. But here's where she blew it. All those inspections? Those are my neighbors, Rodriguez, Jenkins, Murphy. They're not buying her story. Inspections became a joke. Jake, you hiding any wild animals? Murphy asks, and I point to my oldest cow, Bessie, napping under a tree. She's cranky if you wake her, but I wouldn't call her dangerous. Even Jenkins, after his walkthrough, says, Jake, this is textbook harassment. You've got enough documentation to sue for damages. That night, sitting on my porch, I realized Delilah was way out of her league. She'd escalated to legal warfare, thinking a rancher couldn't keep up. But I solve electrical problems for a living, and Delilah was my new favorite project. She wanted to use the system. I was about to show her how the system works for those who play by the rules. Then came the next twist. Her husband, Garrison, the banker, showed up at my boss's office. Not a call, a visit, in a $1,000 suit, no less. My boss, Tommy Kowski, called me, fuming. Jake, this clown said you're unstable, hurting property values, and I should think about who represents my company. Turns out, Garrison had tried similar intimidation before, even pressuring Tommy to sign off on shady condo work. Tommy doesn't bend, never has. He warned me, these folks are dirty, Jake. They're hiding something big. That got me thinking, if they're this desperate, maybe there's more to the story. I doubled up on security, started digging into HOA financials. Mrs. Patterson, the treasurer, quiet, 80, scared of Delilah, had been keeping copies of everything. Missing funds, bogus contractors, landscaping that never happened. She'd been too afraid to speak up. Together, we found Delilah had been stealing from the HOA for over 18 months. 240 grand, gone, laundered through fake companies. Delilah's shortcut through my ranch was really about saving every penny she could. Her house was 3 months behind, her car payments overdue, her husband under SEC investigation. That changed the game. She wasn't just entitled. She was a desperate criminal, stealing from the community. Mrs. Patterson nearly cried when we laid it all out. I told her, it's time to set a trap that catches more than a trespasser. Next morning, my kitchen became mission control. Mrs. Patterson brought her documents. My son Michael came with legal research, Tommy with his contractor friends. We built a plan, criminal prosecution, civil recovery, and a little engineering project by the gate. The pit took 2 days. Looked like a drainage project, but designed to collapse under the exact weight of a BMW X7. Reinforced plywood, weight sensors, steel posts to keep anything from climbing out, hidden cameras everywhere. Emergency ladder, first aid kit, even an automatic alert for emergency services. Didn't want any real harm, just consequences. County Attorney Williams set up sheriff's deputies at the HOA meeting, ready for when Mrs. Patterson dropped her evidence. We made sure Delilah had one last chance to flee, straight through my ranch. Everything was set. The night before, Delilah tried bribing Rodriguez with $5 grand to fine violations. He recorded everything. That afternoon, she came to my door, trying to buy me off $50,000 for a permanent easement, her smile plastic and thin. I played dumb, asked where the money came from. She stammered, threatened me. Every word caught on camera. Take the deal or life gets uncomfortable, she hissed. Beautiful, another criminal charge. That night, HOA meeting packed. 200 residents, news crews, sheriff's deputies. Mrs. Patterson laid it all out. Missing pool funds, fake landscaping, bank statements showing transfers straight to Delilah's mortgage. The room exploded. Delilah screamed. County attorneys stood up. Thornwick, you're under arrest for embezzlement, fraud, and destruction of property. She bolted, right for her BMW, right for my gate, right into the pit. The sensors tripped, the post came up, her car vanished with a crunch and a cloud of dust. I showed up with the deputies, Delilah screaming about lawsuits, but safe and sound, just stuck. Sheriff Martinez grinned. Jake, care to explain this? Texas law allows reasonable force, I replied, grinning. Her car? Total loss. Insurance doesn't pay out for felonies. The residents cheered. Justice, Texas style. 6 months later, I'm on my porch, watching sunrise, coffee in hand, ranch thriving. Delilah? 3 years in state prison, full restitution, a felony record, her mansion auctioned off. Her husband skipped town. Mrs. Patterson is now HOA president. Her first act, a legal fund for folks fighting HOA corruption. 67 families helped already. A new rule in Texas mandating audits and whistleblower protection. My ranch is booked solid, agritourism booming. That pit? Now a memorial pond, plaque reading, Delilah's Folly, where shortcuts end in consequences. So, what's your worst HOA nightmare? Drop in the comments. I promise you're not alone. If this story proves anything, it's that regular folks can stand up, fight back, and win, sometimes with nothing but patience, planning, and the perfect pit trap. Hit that subscribe, tell your story, and remember, property rights aren't negotiable. They're worth protecting no matter what it takes.